Why don't they wait till qualifying's over and give everybody a fair shot to stand in front of them and talk to them about what their positions are, what they're willing to do? I'm willing to answer any question any of these folks have. And sometimes they like to jump out front. Sometimes the big mules in Montgomery like to run things, as you know.
Alrighty, welcome back. Alabama Politics This Week. Josh Boone, David Person, and we are happy now to be joined by the future Commissioner of Agriculture and the former Commissioner of Agriculture, all in the same person. It's Ron Sparks. How are you, Mr. Sparks?
I'm doing great. I love your attitude, Josh. I like the future part.
Yeah. Well, listen, you got to think positive, man. You got to stay positive, and we
Absolutely.
know the best when we see it, and so we're rooting for the best.
Thank you.
And I mentioned former. It's been a little bit since you've been out of the game. What has driven you to get back into this thing and take another run for ag commissioner after being out for a little while?
Well, I have been out for a while, and the time that I was there was probably one of the best things that I ever experienced in my life. But if you look around, you look at the problems that farmers are going through today, you look at the sections of the department that they basically destroyed, the law enforcement department, the inspection, the gasoline department. Those are things that just really bother me, and I want to go back and see if we can't get those things straightened out. The people of Alabama deserve it. The farmers deserve it, and that's my goal, is to go back and get things moving back in the right direction, make sure that Alabama consumers and farmers are protected as we did before.
Yeah. I've told you before. I remember vividly driving around and seeing the inspected by Ron Sparks stickers on the gas pumps and things. Why would they have done away with a fraud department? You hear stories all the time of people being cheated out of their credit cards being stolen, their identity being stolen, people getting bad gas at different places. You hear that a lot more now. I never heard that before here, but you hear it a lot now with people have got where they be reports on the internet somewhere. The people saying, "Hey, look, we got bad gas over here at so and so location. Don't go over there and get that." Why did they stop doing the fraud investigations?
I have no clue. It's unacceptable to me. They even done away, Josh and David. They even done away with the gas lab. That's really what bothers me, because that's where you check the octane levels to make sure that when someone buys 93 octane, they get 93 octane. Basically, what they've done is turned it over to private industry and said, "Hey, look, you pay for the guy to come check your gas tanks and pumps, and then send it to the Department of Ag." Well, to me, that's like the fox guarding the hen house.
Yeah.
We went out, we took gasoline out of the pumps, we checked it, we made sure that the consumer was protected, and that's what we're going to continue to try to do, is to make sure those things happen. Because I think, in today's world, people work hard for their money, and they don't need to be ripped off by somebody that's maybe putting 87 octane in a 93 tank and selling it to you as 93 octane. And that's where a lot of people really don't understand how important the department is.
I remember those stickers just like Josh does, Mr. Sparks, and I am curious. Just and let me say, first of all, I think what you just said is extremely important, and I do agree that is something that is lacking. But I am curious, how did the regulation of gasoline come under the ag department?
Well, it's the ag and industries, and
I see. Okay.
we have a division called weights and measures. Everything that's weighed and measured in Alabama comes under the weights and measures. That's how important the department is. Whether it's a tube of lipstick that don't weigh the right amount, that's our responsibility. A good example. Let me give you a good example. A bag of concrete at Home Depot or Lowe's. We want to make sure that if it says 50 pound, it is 50 pound. Scales. Making sure that farmers, when they go across that scale is correct. So weights and measures was a very important part of the department, and they took part of it away, and I'm not real happy about it. And I think when the people of Alabama find out that what happened, I don't think they'll be happy about it.
Yeah, I think you make a great point, and it just kind of strikes me as consistent with the general mindset of Democrats, which is we want to protect consumers, and then, as you said earlier, uh, they've given the Fox control of the Henhouse. So let's get into what you've been doing for the past 15 years. You've been out of office. What have you been up to?
Well, I ran for governor in 2010, and
Uh huh.
I won the Democrat nomination, but then I got defeated in November, and
Uh huh.
Governor Bentley called me and asked me if I would come and take over the rural development department, and I did, and I was very proud of that. I'll give you a good example, Josh, David. I'll give you a good example. In 2011, we brought telemedicine to the state of Alabama.
Hmm.
I love working for the people of Alabama. I get up every day trying to figure out what I can do to make Alabama a better place. I never made a decision at the Department of Agriculture. This is the honest truth. I never made a decision based on a Democrat or Republican. I made all of my decisions based on what is good for my farmers, what's good for my consumers. And anybody that watched our administration knows that we were pretty tough when it comes to protecting Alabama. So, I've been busy. I've done some consulting work with healthcare. I've done some consulting work with solar projects. I've tried to stay busy. I'm in good health. I got two good brand new knees, so I can go now. That's part of the military, I guess. But I'm in good shape. I don't want to sit down. I love this state. I love the people of this state, and I'm ready to go and try to do something positive for Alabama again.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, based on what I've read, because I'll be honest, I don't clearly remember, but based on what I've read, the last time I think that you were elected, you won 62 out of 67 counties, which is, pretty strong for a Democrat, uh, in an election where I think a Republican was in office at that
Absolutely,
point. Yeah.
Governor.
So
Yeah,
I can't remember which one was it Guy Hunt or who was it? Who
no,
was the
no.
governor?
Governor Riley won the same time that I
Oh,
did.
Riley. Right, right, right.
Governor Riley came into office the same time that I did.
Right.
And
Okay.
yes, I've been very fortunate, and I'm honored that the people of Alabama would allow me to win 62 out of 67 counties. It took a lot of hard work, but it also took a lot of people from the Democrat side, the Republican side, the independent side. You just don't get there without a coalition of folks helping you get to that point. So I'm honored to have been able to do that. And I think that I proved to the people of Alabama that we were willing to get up every day and work. If I could just mention one thing, if I could, this is
Sure.
really important. This is really
Sure.
important. When I came into office, animal diagnostics was at its lowest. They were catching water in trash bags at Auburn University. They were necropsying and autopsying animals under a homemade lean-to outside in Elba. They barely had a lab up in Boaz. I built three brand new state of the art animal diagnostic labs for the state of Alabama for one reason, because the farmers deserve it. We have a brand new lab at Auburn University. We have a brand new state of the art lab in Boaz, Alabama, and we have one in Elba, Alabama. And that took a lot of hard work, but we were able to achieve that. And the farmers now have the best diagnostic system in the country, and I'm proud of that. And every poultry farmer, every cattle farmer, or anybody that has a pet ought to be proud of that because it's close by. You got North Alabama, South Alabama, Central Alabama. So I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of my record. I'm proud of what we did at the department. I don't think anybody can challenge what we did at the department. We went from the bottom to the top, and we're going to do that again.
So one quick thing for this city boy. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. You said
Okay.
that they were catching water someplace. I don't remember where you said it was, but okay,
Basically,
what does
what it
that
was,
mean?
the ceiling was so bad that they, when it would leak, they had trash bags taped to the ceiling and running water into a
Oh,
trash can.
got it, got it.
So
Okay.
they had such a dilapidated lab that nobody had took an interest in it, and
Mm,
that's not what Alabama deserves. So we ended up building 3 labs, a brand new one in Auburn, and the people of Alabama deserve that. The farmers deserve that, and I'm proud of that. We went from the bottom of diagnostics to the top of diagnostics in a very short period of time.
nice.
Yeah, so here the big question. The big question. You're now running as a Democrat again.
Absolutely.
And running as a Democrat now was a lot different than running as a Democrat back in when Bob Riley was in office. I know you still got a lot of friends. I know I've talked to a lot of folks here in North Alabama who are farmers and who do farming, and they still talk very, very highly of you. They respect you a lot. They really like what you did. And none of them talk about Democrat or Republican, and certainly nobody has ever called Ron Sparks a big old liberal. But can you get over that label right now? You think people are willing to go in and mark in the bubble in your name and ignore that straight ticket Republican?
I really do, Josh, and I tell you why. If you went down and checked most of the legislature at one point in time, it's probably Democrats. I just have a hard time. I have a hard time looking people in the eye and saying I'm going to change my party affiliation and insult your intelligence and thinking my heart and my soul's any different than it was 10 minutes ago. And I think it's sad that people buy into that. They know me. They know who I am. They watch me work at the Department of Agriculture for 12 years, 4 years as assistant commissioner, 8 years as a commissioner. That's what I hope they look at is that who I am, the job that I did. There's not going to be any on the job training when Ron Sparks get elected again. The day I walk in, I know every division there
Right.
and I know what every division does. So I know the challenge and I understand the challenge, and I hope people understand the seriousness of where the farmers are today. Give you a good example, Josh. I know you mentioned it the other day. Alpha endorsed me every time I've ever run. I don't think anybody ever worked harder for Alpha than I did. Whether it was a disaster, I went and fought for money in Washington to make sure that these farmers were taken care of. So the cattlemen, when we had a BSE case in Alabama, we handled that case so that it didn't get out and destroy our cattle industry. Uh, there's not an ag sector in the state of Alabama that I didn't work with and work hard with, and I would hope that they would go back. Politics really has no place at the Department of Agriculture, to be honest with you. But I realize I agree with you, Josh. It is a challenge, but we're ready for the challenge, and we're going to take the message out there, and we're going to explain to the consumers what's happened to them.
Have you heard from some of your old folks that some of these guys that have been voting Republicans for the last few years? And have you heard from them? Have you received good support?
I, I,
You
re-
feel like it's headed that way?
I really have. I've had a lot of good support. I've had a lot of people that's been asking me for years and years, Ron, why don't you give it another shot? Why don't you run for governor again? Why don't you do this? Well, I was pretty well happy with what I was doing. As you get a little older, you try to slow down a little bit. I had a few little health issues. I had 2 new knees put in, but I'm in good shape now. Yeah, I've had a lot of support across Alabama. I would hope that some of these what really bothers me is that some of these folks have gone out and endorsed before qualifying's even over.
Yeah.
Why don't they wait till qualifying's over and give everybody a fair shot to stand in front of them and talk to them about what their positions are, what they're willing to do? I'm willing to answer any question any of these folks have. And so sometimes they like to jump out front. Sometimes the big mules in Montgomery like to run things, as you know.
Right. That's right. Well, listen, we really appreciate you coming on and spending some time. And look, I know, and I think everybody knows, nobody's going to say that you're unqualified for this or that you're not by far the most qualified candidate running in this race. That you don't know everything there is to know, and so it just comes down to that stupid game that people love to play now with politics and what team you're on, and it's really kind of absurd if you actually take a step back and think about it. But we wish you all the best, and we're pulling for you. We got you already penciled in as the next ag commissioner, no matter what the folks over at Alpha and other places might say. In terms of endorsements, that you're right, they should have waited on. But we wish you all the best, sir, and hopefully we can get this thing across the finish line.
Well, first of all, I want to thank y'all. This is a very important part of anybody's campaign, is to help get your message out. And I appreciate y'all allowing me to come on to do this. But the bottom line is, Josh, David, I'm a veteran. I know I've served my country. I've served my country at the federal level. I've served my country at the state level. And I've served my country at the local level. I've been elected. 49 years ago, I won my first election. And I've been serving the state of Alabama a long time. And I don't think they can go back from in the last 49 years and find where I played games with people's lives or people's livelihoods. I've always done what I thought was right. And that's what I hope people will do, is examine, who is this guy? What has he done? Look at his career. Does he have the heart? Does he have the backbone? Does he tell you the truth? And I think the people at the end of the day, they'll look at things pretty hard, and we can win this thing, Josh.
Well, I will say that I'm confident that should be the case, and if we're doing things the right way, it will be the case. So, listen, thank you, Ron Sparks, for spending some time with us. We're going to slide out. We'll come back. We'll wrap this thing up in just a minute. It's Alabama politics this week.
Thank you, David.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank y'all.